The movie opens with a woman walking toward an apartment complex. She pauses and turns around, sensing someone following her, but sees no one. Quickly, she enters the building, takes the elevator, and heads to her floor. Once inside her apartment, she turns on classical music and goes straight to the shower. The person following her sneaks into the apartment and quietly approaches the bathroom. He rips open the shower curtain and points a gun at her, demanding to know what she's doing in his house. But she reacts fast and shoots. Then she grabs a dumbbell, strikes him, and finishes by blowing off his manberries. Later, the police arrive. The brutality of the murder leads them to believe the assailant might be a professional killer. Detective Tunnum, sharp and intuitive, notices similarities with two recent murder cases, both involving male victims. He suspects the same person may be behind all three killings. Tenum questions a young boy who lives in the building about what he must have heard. The boy mentions that he heard classical music moments ago, and he's never heard the victim play classical music before. Normally, it's just the loud sounds of adult films blaring from the apartment. Tenum tells his boss that the killer seems to play classical music while carrying out murders, and based on the certain clues, he believes the killer is a woman. But his boss brushes it off, calling it nothing more than typical triad violence. When Tenum insists, he mocks his mental state and implies he's still unfit for duty. With a smirk, he tells Tenum to get a haircut, saying he looks like hell. The comment hurts his feelings, but Tenum swallows it. A few months ago, Tenum had accidentally shot his brother, an incident that left him traumatized and unable to even hold a gun without having a panic attack. Though he's recovering, his boss won't stop taunting him with that experience. Later, Tenum visits a unisex salon for a haircut. One of the workers, Tommy, is flirting with a pretty young girl called Kitty. But just then his girlfriend walks in and confronts him about not returning her calls. She accuses him of avoiding her because she is pregnant. Tommy denies responsibility, claiming the child might not be his because she sleeps around. Kitty advises the girlfriend to get an abortion and stop crying over an unworthy man like Tommy. She also reveals that Tommy has been flirting with her since she walked in. Tommy throws money at the girl, who slaps him. As he raises a hand to hit her back, Kitty steps in and cracks his head open. She grabs a weapon and slices off one of his manberries, just before Tenum intervenes. Kitty and the other woman escape and Tenum chases after them. Outside, Kitty tries to stop him, and during the scuffle, she grabs his gun and points it at him, triggering a panic attack. She quickly apologizes for scaring him. Tenum says he's letting her go because Tommy got what he deserved, but Kitty flips it, telling him she's the one letting him go by not reporting him for inappropriate conduct. Tenum leaves, forgetting his pager. Kitty picks it up and later calls him, and he asks her to drop it off at the station. Back at the station, Tenum asks his colleague if anyone dropped off his pager. He says no, but mentions that a woman is in the boss's office reporting an incident. Curious, Tenum peeks through the window and sees Kitty, crying and speaking to his superior. He becomes nervous. Moments later, his boss calls him in. Tenum braces himself for the worst, but to his surprise, his boss praises him, saying it's the first time in a long while someone has commended his work. Confused, Tenum listens as he explains that Kitty had reported him as a hero. She said he bravely chased off her attacker and protected her from being hurt. Tenum is stunned, but also relieved. It becomes clear that Kitty is toying with him. He then tells Tenum to accompany Kitty to identify the suspect. However, it's all a facade. Kitty is simply attracted to Tenum and uses the situation as an opportunity to flirt with him. Later, while driving together, Kitty spots her father outside their apartment and pulls over to greet him. She introduces Tenum as her very good friend. Kitty's father greets Tenum excitedly before rushing off to his stall. Kitty flirts with Tenum before finally handing him back his pager. Later that night, Kitty returns home to find her father and stepmother arguing. She tries to intervene, but her father stops her and offers to make her something to eat. Kitty asks to make a quick call downstairs, saying she doesn't want her stepmother eavesdropping. Meanwhile, her father heads upstairs, only to walk in on his wife with a much younger man named B. Enraged, he attacks the man. During the struggle, B pushes him, and he tumbles down the stairs and dies. Kitty attacks B, but he knocks her out and escapes. The next day, furious and out for revenge, Kitty storms into B's office. She guns down several staff members and bodyguards before bursting into his office. There, she shoots and savagely beats him. But B's remaining guards overpower her. They beat her, and B attempts to violate her. Kitty fights back fiercely, ultimately stabbing and shooting B, finishing him off by blowing off his manberries. As she tries to escape, more of B's men open fire. Kitty grabs a woman named Cindy and takes her hostage. She tells her that she's wounded and weak and needs her help. To her surprise, Cindy agrees and quickly reveals her true identity. In a flash, she helps Kitty take down the remaining attackers in a fierce shootout at the parking lot. Together, they manage to escape. Kitty later wakes up in Cindy's home with her fingers bandaged. She panics, thinking they've been cut off, but Cindy explains she's altering her fingerprints to help her disappear. The news is already covering the massacre, and Cindy scolds Kitty for acting recklessly and failing to wear a disguise. Now, with the police on her trail, she'll need a new identity. Cindy is, in fact, an assassin. She was there to kill B herself before Kitty got to him first. The two women discover they share a hatred for scumbags and predators like B. Cindy tells Kitty she has great potential and would make an excellent assassin. She will train her and she'll start working with her. Kitty, still reeling from the trauma of avenging her father, is confused by the calmness of Cindy. She doesn't understand why this stranger would help her, but Cindy sees something in her, an edge and a natural killer's instinct. Kitty doesn't seem to have much of a choice. To begin her training, Cindy takes Kitty to a secret cellar where she keeps chained offenders as a test subject. Cindy locks Kitty in with him. Kitty yells at her to open the door or she'll hurt her, but Cindy doesn't respond. When the man approaches, she doesn't scream. She faces him head-on. After a brief struggle, Kitty manages to kill him. Furious, she storms upstairs and confronts Cindy for putting her in danger. But Cindy scolds her, saying she's still an amateur because it took her 3 minutes to kill him, when she had every weapon available. She begins to teach Kitty the fundamentals of killing efficiently, even without traditional weapons. From pressure points to using everyday objects as tools of death, Cindy drills her on how to stay invisible, think fast, and strike first. Kitty catches on quickly. As they train, a strong bond forms between them. Cindy sees not just potential, but a younger version of herself. Meanwhile, Tenum and his team investigate another grisly scene, another man killed with his manberries blown off. Tenum suggests these killings are being carried out by a team of female assassins, not just one woman. A federal detective agrees with his theory and asks Tenum to join in the case. Tenum's boss approves, officially putting him in charge of the investigation. Having completed her training, Cindy takes Kitty on her first mission, to kill a Japanese Yakuza member named Taki. The mission is a success, but Taki's gang immediately seeks revenge. They hire a deadly assassin named Princess to eliminate both Cindy and Kitty. Princess is no ordinary killer. She was trained and groomed by Cindy herself. A vicious, cold-blooded assassin obsessed with wealth, Princess will kill anyone for the right price. She's in a twisted relationship with her equally ruthless lover, Baby. The next day, following Taki's murder, Tenum's boss officially assigns him to the case. Their only lead comes from an eyewitness who claims Taki was last seen with an air hostess named Vivian Shan. Tenum and his partner head to Kitty's apartment. The moment he sees her, he recognizes her, but she calmly pretends he's mistaken and introduces herself as Vivian Shan. Tenum asks her to come to the station to give a statement. When they arrive, they're shocked to discover their boss has been murdered in his office, and no one even noticed. Still shaken, Tenum proceeds with Kitty's interrogation. She claims she left the party early out of boredom and that Taki personally dropped her off. But Tenum can't help noticing how she keeps staring at him. Suddenly, she confesses she's attracted to him and boldly asks him out to dinner. Unsure if he's being seduced or deceived, Tenum brings in a man who was present at the Salon when Kitty assaulted Tommy, hoping he can confirm her identity. but the man denies recognizing her. On his way out of the station, a car hits him, killing him instantly. Rattled and suspicious, Tenum vents to his colleague. He reveals that since the accidental shooting of his brother, he's been impotent. But somehow, Kitty made him feel something again, and now that she's back, those feelings have returned. The next day, Tenum visits Kitty's home, but she's not there. Cindy invites him in, offers him a drink, and plays classical music. She begins to flirt subtly, waiting for the right moment to strike. But before she can act, Kitty shows up. She brushes Tenum off, claiming she has to leave. Cindy confronts her afterward, asking why she stopped her. Kitty explains that Tenum is a cop. If Cindy kills him, it could be traced back to them. It's revealed that Cindy was responsible for the murder of both Tenum's boss and the Salon witness. She's been cleaning up anyone who could connect Kitty to their crimes. Cindy warns that Tenum knows too much and must be eliminated. Kitty volunteers to do it herself, though Cindy doubts her resolve. She also tells Kitty the house is compromised and must be sold. Days pass. Kitty hasn't made a move on Tenum, and every time Cindy tries, Kitty intervenes. Meanwhile, Tenum keeps pressing Kitty to confess who she really is. Eventually, Kitty admits she's the woman he's been looking for. That night, as they make love, Princess watches from afar with a clear shot at Kitty, but hesitates. She's become obsessed and can't bring herself to pull the trigger. Her hesitation causes tension between her and Baby, who doesn't understand her weakness. But Princess snaps. She can do whatever she wants, and Baby has no say in it. After Cindy's death, Kitty vanishes without a trace. Tenum is heartbroken. His colleague tries to comfort him, reminding him that Kitty has a habit of disappearing. Tenum refuses to give up. He and his partner begin searching, only to learn Princess is hunting for Kitty too, offering a reward to anyone who finds her. Before anyone else can reach her, Kitty reappears and confronts Princess herself. Knowing Princess is drawn to her, Kitty seduces her. Baby grows jealous and tries to intervene, but Princess puts her in her place, warning her to stay silent if she wants to live. Kitty flirts, drawing Princess toward the pool. She teases her, asking if she's afraid she might be there to kill her. Princess replies she's already assessed her and knows she's harmless. Kitty jumps into the pool and Princess follows. As they kiss, Kitty suddenly bites her lip and a violent underwater fight erupts. Just then, Tenum arrives and shoots down Princess's bodyguard. He storms in, aims his gun at Princess, and demands she let Kitty go. Though he feels ill, he manages to stay composed. Baby attacks him from behind, knocking them both into the pool. But Tenum quickly shoots her. As more guards rush in, Tenum takes them down and escapes with Kitty. Princess chases them on a motorcycle. They take shelter at Cindy's old house. Kitty begs Tenum to leave and save himself, but he refuses. He says he'd rather die beside her than run. Princess arrives and unleashes gunfire. A brutal fight breaks out. Despite their efforts, Princess overpowers Kitty and breaks her leg. As Kitty lies injured, Princess cruelly taunts her. She attempts to violate her, just as she's always fantasized, before ending her life. But as she leans in for a kiss, Kitty presses her poisoned lipstick against Princess's bleeding mouth. Princess recoils in shock. Kitty grins, telling her she just used her own signature move against her. She adds that she drank plenty of milk beforehand to slow the poison and reach a hospital in time. But the toxin works quickly on Princess, who dies moments later. However, Kitty has no real idea if milk works, because the poison starts affecting her too. Tenum insists on rushing her to the hospital, but she knows she won't make it. Suddenly, the police arrive. Kitty warns Tenum to flee. The house is filled with gas, and any gunfire will trigger an explosion. But he refuses. He professes his love, then fires a single shot into the gas oven. The house erupts into flames, consuming them both. If you made it through all the seduction, stabbings, and slow-mo gunfights without blushing, you're one of us now. Hit subscribe before Kitty finds out you're cheating with another recap channel.